Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business English Podcast, the go-to resource for non-native professionals looking to sharpen their business skills. I'm your host Rob, and I'm delighted that you're tuning in today. Whether you're joining us for your commute, during your lunch break, or while preparing for tomorrow's big meeting, we're thrilled to be a part of your English learning journey. And today, we're delving into a subject that even the most seasoned English speakers sometimes struggle with: the modal verbs could and can. Now, you might be thinking, how different could these two small words possibly be? Well, these seemingly simple terms can significantly affect the tone, meaning, and professionalism of your business communication. As always, our goal is to empower you with a clearer understanding of business English and help you communicate more confidently and effectively in your workplace. Today's episode, Hyper-Effective Uses of Could and Can in Business, will not only highlight the nuances of these modal verbs, but also provide practical, relatable examples that you can immediately implement into your English usage. We'll be covering the general applications of could and can, their specific roles in business contexts, and common mistakes to avoid. So, whether you're struggling with sending formal emails, participating in meetings, or simply conversing with your colleagues, this episode is sure to provide valuable insight into enhancing your English communication skills. So, grab your notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive in as we unravel the complexities and simplify the usage of could and can in business English. But first, hit the play button. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Business English Podcast, helping professionals communicate more effectively, more confidently, and with impact. With your host, Rob, from Energetic English. Let's get down to business. Okay then, let's start by understanding the basics. Could and can are modal verbs, which are used to express various conditions such as ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. You see, can generally refers to what someone is capable of doing now, while could often refers to a potential action in the future or past ability. It may sound simple now, but the real challenge comes when you apply these terms in different contexts, and that's where we're going to help you. In everyday English, can is often used to express physical or mental ability. For instance, if you say, "I can swim," you're stating that you have the ability to swim. On the other hand, could is generally used to express an ability in the past or a conditional ability in the present. For example, "I could swim when I was a child" indicates a past ability, and "I could swim if I had a swimming suit" shows a conditional ability. Now, you may be wondering, why do I need to know the usage of could and can in business English? Well, in a professional context, using the right modal verb is vital. It helps to create a balance between too informal and overly formal, and ensures you communicate your ideas or requests clearly and appropriately. So, while can and could may seem trivial or interchangeable, their correct usage can have a significant impact on your business communication. Not to worry though, we're here to guide you on this journey. We'll demystify these terms and provide practical examples for you to gain a firm grasp of their usage in a professional setting. Alright, moving on to our next section. Let's first focus on the word can and its use in business English. Can is a versatile modal verb, and we use it in various situations. The first one is to express ability or possibility, as we've mentioned previously. Let's consider an example. "I can finish the report by Friday." In this sentence, the speaker is expressing their ability to complete a task. The second use of can is for giving or asking for permission. For instance, "Can I leave early today?" is a question asking for permission. In response, a supervisor might say, "Yes, you can leave early today." Here, can is used to give permission. The third common use of can is to make requests or offers. For example, if you say, "Can you send me the meeting minutes?" you're making a request. If you say, "I can help you with that presentation," you're making an offer. As an example, you may ask a colleague, "Can you provide me with the latest sales figures?" And the colleague may respond, "Yes, I can get those to you by the end of the day." In this scenario, you used can to make a request, while your colleague, the second character, used can to express their ability to fulfill that request. While can is a useful and versatile term, there are some common mistakes that non-native English speakers often make. For instance, they might use can in a formal request like, "Can you kindly approve the annual budget?" While this isn't incorrect, it may come off as a bit informal in a business setting. A better way to phrase this could be, "Could you kindly approve the annual budget?" Remember, could is often used to make polite requests, and this is really worth bearing in mind. In the next section, we'll explore could and its uses in more detail. But for now, remember, can is your go-to modal verb for expressing ability, making casual requests or offers, and asking or giving permission. Okay, we've just finished our discussion on the usage of can in business English. Now let's switch gears and talk about could, another very important modal verb in English. Now, just like can, could has a few different applications depending on the context. First, we use could to express an ability in the past. For example, "I could run a mile in 6 minutes when I was in high school." This statement suggests that the speaker had the ability to do this in the past. The second usage of could is to suggest possible actions in the future. When used in this context, it often implies a condition. For instance, "We could invest more in marketing if we increase our budget." Here, could indicates a possibility in the future, conditioned on an increased budget. And finally, could is also commonly used to make polite requests. If you're at a meeting and you need a document, instead of saying, "Can you give me the document?" you might say, "Could you please pass me the document?" It's a softer, more polite way to express the request. Okay, let's look at it in a business context now. You may say to a colleague, "We could consider expanding our operations to the Asian market next year." And your colleague may respond, "That's a good idea. We could study the market trends and formulate a strategy." In this scenario, both characters used could to suggest possible future actions. They are not confirming anything, they are merely suggesting and considering possibilities. One common mistake I see a lot with could is using it to express a present ability. For example, saying "I could help you now," when you mean to say "I can help you now." Remember, could is used for past abilities or conditional possibilities, not present abilities. In the next section, we'll compare can and could and explore their uses in specific business contexts. But for now, just remember, could is used to express past abilities, suggest future possibilities, and to make polite requests. Now, before jumping into the next section, I wanted to take this opportunity to let you know that if you wanted to get more out of the Business English podcast, then that is possible. For example, full transcripts complete with timestamps so you never miss an expression, phrase-focused one-pagers to quickly refresh your memory before that next last-minute meeting, pronunciation support to assist with the trickier elements of business English, live read-along transcripts, quizzes, and much more. If this sounds like it could be useful, then the Business English Podcast Premium subscription could be for you. Check out the details at the link in the show notes. Right, on with the show. Okay, we've explored the usages of can and could, and now it's time to see when these two modal verbs operate in specific business contexts. We'll compare their uses in meetings, presentations, negotiations, and even written business communication. So let's start with meetings. During a meeting, can is often used to ask for or give permission, as well as to make offers or requests. For example, can I add something here? Or, can you explain that point again? However, could is often used to make polite suggestions or requests. Could we explore this topic in more detail? Or, you could try presenting it in a different way. Next, let's consider presentations. If you're presenting an idea or solution, you'd likely use can to express what is possible or within your abilities. Our team can implement this solution within 2 months. On the other hand, could is used to discuss alternative possibilities or conditional scenarios. We could accelerate the timeline if we had more resources. Now, what about negotiations? Here, both can and could come into play. Can is used to express what's within your power or capacity. We can offer a 10% discount. But if you're discussing potential compromises or conditions, could steps in. We could go up to 15% if you increase the order quantity. And finally, in written communication like emails, could is often preferred to make polite requests or suggestions. For instance, could you please confirm your availability for the meeting? Sounds more polite than, can you confirm your availability? But if you're stating your abilities or possibilities, can would still be appropriate. I can provide the report by Tuesday. Remember, choosing between can and could can alter the formality and tone of your communication. Can is generally straightforward and direct, while could sounds more tentative and polite. The context of your relationship with the listener or reader will help you decide which one to use. As we wrap up our deep dive into could and can, I want to leave you with some practical tips and mnemonics to help you remember when and how you can use these modal verbs in your business communication. Firstly, remember that can is often used to express present ability to ask for or give permission, and to make offers or requests. Here's a simple way to remember it. Can, C-A-N, current, ability, and needs. Can, C-A-N, current, ability, and needs. Current reminds you it's for the present. Ability matches with expressing ability, and needs aligns with asking for something or offering help. Moving on to could, it's used to express past ability, to suggest future possibilities, and to make polite requests. For this one, we can use the mnemonic C-O-U-L-D, could. Conditional, offers, used in past, and less direct. Could, C-O-U-L-D. Conditional, offers, used in past, and less direct. Conditional corresponds to suggesting future possibilities. Offers can remind you of making polite requests. Used in past aligns with past abilities. And less direct signifies that it is a more polite and less straightforward form of communication than can. Using these acronyms can and could can help you quickly remember the differences between these two modal verbs and when to use them. It may take a bit of practice at first, but with time, it'll become second nature. Remember, mastery of business English doesn't happen overnight. It's about consistent learning and regular practice. But by understanding the correct usage of can and could, you're already well on your way to communicating more effectively and professionally. Now that we've explored the key differences between could and can, let's take a moment to review a couple of key phrases you can start using immediately to practice your new skills. These will be situations you often encounter in a business setting. Firstly, during meetings, instead of saying, "Can we talk about the marketing strategy?" make it more formal and polite with the use of could. Could we discuss the marketing strategy? In emails, instead of saying, "Can you send me the file?" use could. Could you please send me the file? This sounds more professional. Remember, the more you practice using could and can correctly, the more natural it will feel. You'll start noticing the difference in the responses you receive and in your overall confidence when communicating. And there we have it. Today we have demystified the use of could and can in business English. We've explored their general and specific uses, common errors, and even had a bit of practice along the way. I hope this episode was helpful and gave you a clear understanding of when and how to use these two modal verbs. As we wrap up, just remember, it's not about learning everything all at once, but about consistent and progressive learning. Keep practicing, stay curious, and you'll find yourself improving and becoming more confident in your business English skills. Don't forget to check out our additional resources linked in the episode description, and as always, we love hearing from you. Share your thoughts, questions, or topics you'd like us to discuss by getting in touch via the show notes or visiting our website. Thank you for joining us on the Business English Podcast. I'm Rob, wishing you success in your language learning journey, and until next time, keep it strictly business. You have been listening to the Business English Podcast. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and we'll see you next time.